Nick Rutter from McKee's37.com. In this video, I'm going to show you how to use McKee's 37 Graphene Rinseless Wash. Now, if you've watched any of my videos, you've probably seen quite a few videos featuring several different McKee's 37 rinseless washes, with our most popular being the N914 rinseless wash. That one is strictly a cleaner. It does not contain any gloss enhancers or protective ingredients. Graphene Rinseless Wash is the complete opposite. This contains graphene, which will add protection and gloss and slickness. Now, I have a previous video showcasing applying the graphene coating to this vehicle from start to finish. And as you're watching this right now, you might think, oh, here we go. Another video where a guy is cleaning a clean car. Well, as you'll see here, this BRZ is actually quite dirty. This red color hides the dirt extremely well, and it is in thorough need of a wash. There's some bug splatter, there's some road film, some light water spots. So I'm going to show you how to use the Graphene Rinseless Wash to clean the vehicle while enhancing the shine, and it'll make the paint extremely slick along the way. So normal routine for rinseless washes, I have my Carolina detailing cart. I use these for every rinseless wash and every conventional wash because I don't want to have to bend over repeatedly, especially with myself. I have a back injury a couple years ago. Fortunately, it's better, but it does flare up from time to time. So not having to bend over constantly is a huge time saver. Plus, this cart has room for all my stuff, my towels, my sponges, my bottles. It just makes life so much easier. And my favorite part of the cart is when I'm finished washing the car for the day or detailing or whatever it is I'm doing, I put the stuff in the cart, I put it in the corner of the garage, and it's out of sight, out of mind. Makes cleanup a breeze. Anyway, I have our 5-gallon wash bucket in here. I have a grit guard insert that I will insert inside the bucket. And basically, with the Graphene Rinseless Wash, this is really, really concentrated. And we package it in a 32-ounce container that has a built-in measuring cup. And it's really simple to use. You simply squeeze the bottle until you reach the 1-ounce mark. And with this guy, it's 1 ounce for every 3 gallons. So it's 50% more concentrated than the standard rinseless wash dilution ratio. Once you dilute it like that, you simply pour it in the container, in your bucket, and that's it. And like everything else we make, the Graphene Rinseless Wash, it smells fantastic. Then you take your grit guard insert, and I'm going to mix up the solution. Now, the point of a grit guard insert is this sits at the bottom of the bucket. And after you wash a section, you take your big gold sponge, which we designed for rinseless washes, but you can use it for regular washes too, and you agitate the sponge against the grit guard insert. Dirt and grime is released, and it's trapped in these fins, so it doesn't swirl back up into your wash water. And mix it up. And then for a pre-soak, I have an IK Multi-Pro 2. So the 914 rinseless wash will create foam. It has surfactants. The Graphene Rinseless Wash does not create any foam, so I'm not going to use a Foam Pro for this application. I'm going to use a Multi-Pro. The Multi-Pro is the non-foaming IK pump sprayer. And an easy way to fill up your solution is just take the lid off the pump and dunk it in your bucket. And then I only fill it up about halfway. And the reason you don't want to fill it up all the way is because then you're not going to have much pressure. It's not going to be pressurized all the way, at least not long enough to last a decent time. So by leaving a large amount of air in the container, there's plenty of room for you to pressurize it. Therefore, you can pre-soak the vehicle. And the point of doing a pre-soak is that it helps loosen any dirt and grime, especially anything that's embedded on the paint. So that way, when you use your wash sponge, it's already wet, it's softened the dirt, so it comes off much easier. So the whole point, as we walk you through this process step by step, is we want to avoid inflicting any swirls or scratches in the finish of this vehicle, especially since it's my vehicle. I don't want to have to polish it or anything like that. So pump this guy up. And I'm working in the comfort of an air-conditioned garage, but with a rinseless wash, one of the many benefits is you can wash your vehicle in a parking lot if you live in like an apartment, or like my good friend Bo, he washes his Mustang at a car show. Or if it's wintertime, obviously you can't use a garden hose to wash your vehicle, so a rinseless wash works great in the garage to remove the dirt and the grime and the salt and the snow. Or if you live in an area with water restrictions or where it's even illegal to wash your car using a garden hose. A rinseless wash is great, and there's very little compromise. So I have my sprayer here, and unlock it. And these are the best sprayers that money can buy. It's true, you can go to your local home improvement store and buy yourself a very inexpensive, all-purpose garden type of sprayer. But the issue with those, they don't last that long. They're built to a price. The IK is not built to a price. It's built to a quality standard. So these are awesome. Normally, if you're working outside in the sun, when you do a rinseless wash, you're only really going to work 1 or 2 panels at a time. But I have the luxury of being in here, a nice garage, so the sun is not an issue. So I'm actually going to wash multiple panels at a time. And then even though I'm not going to wash the rocker panels yet, that's the dirtiest part of the vehicle. So I'm going to let this pre-soak for a few minutes just to help soften it up until I get my mud flaps on there, or my mud guards, which will keep the rocker panels a lot cleaner. But right now, as you'll see, they're quite dirty. And then, grit guard insert is in the bucket. Have my big gold sponge, and this has these cross-cut slotted chambers that help trap dirt and grime to keep it away from the vehicle. And then you want to wring the sponge out about 50%. Some guys like to do it more, some do it less. I'm about 50%. I want to have enough solution there to actually wet the paint because, again, you want lots of lubrication. So take your sponge, and this hood is not too dirty, so I can use the same side more than once. But if this are really dirty, as I outlined in other videos, you can actually change the sponge to another side to clean the area. But again, the hood is not that dirty. One of the many benefits of using a graphene ceramic coating is that nothing really wants to stick to the surface. So when it rains or when you drive through rain, it cleans the car off for you. Now I'm going to switch to the other side of the sponge. And as I'm rubbing it across the surface, I'm applying, just squeezing a little bit, and that helps release solution. And again, if your vehicle is heavily soiled, you'll either rinse the sponge more frequently or you'll switch sides, rotate frequently to avoid scratching the surface. Agitate against the grit guard insert, rinse and repeat. I'm going to do this fender too while I'm here. And one other benefit about this formula is the fact that it does not dry out your skin. I've heard a lot of people comment that other manufacturers' rinseless washes, they cause allergic reactions and they dry out their skin. I've never had that happen with any of our products. And that says a lot because I have very sensitive skin. Here you can see, I'll bring it a little bit closer, there's dirt and grime on the big gold sponge. This formula releases the dirt and grime. Some rinseless washes don't do a very good job with that. And it will not stain your washed sponge. So agitate it against the grit guard. And there you have it. No more grime. Oh, I see one little piece. Make sure you inspect your sponge and remove any solids from it. Good stuff. Do this other fender here. More dirt. No dirt. And I actually find it very therapeutic to do a rinseless wash. For years I was not a huge fan, and I still prefer a regular wash, to be honest with you, but for convenience, for a car that's not super dirty, I think it's a great option. And I like that I can do it later in the day. You know, right now it's November and the sun goes down by the time I get home from work, so it's already dark. So I like having the option to pull the car in the garage, listen to a good podcast or music or sermon, and wash the car and just really hang out and relax. I find it very enjoyable. Or if you have the luxury of having a garage at work like I do, I can do a rinseless wash on my lunch break. And it's just, again, quick, easy way to wash the car. And for something that's not heavily soiled, it's really no compromise. Hey, Robert. Hey, I'm making a video right now if you want to come in and say hi. So, I've already washed the hood, the fenders, and the front bumper. And normally I like to use a drying aid of some sort. With this, the Graphene Rinseless wash, you can dilute this ½ ounce for every 22 ounces of water, which we did that because our spray bottles are 22 ounces. So this is our graphene detail spray. So if you have a bottle like this left over, you simply do ½ ounce into your 22 ounce spray bottle and then use this as a drying aid. This enhances the gloss and it also provides more lubrication with your drying towel. And for my drying towel, I'm using the Glacier 1100. This towel is very soft, it's very absorbent. It has a split weave microfiber design. These work great for rinseless washes, and normally for a rinseless wash, I'll use the 16 by 16 inch size, and I'll use 2 or 3 of them depending on the size of the car. So, gonna spray this on. All it takes is a couple mists. And Robert DiTerlizzi, he's a local detailer. You might be familiar with him. Robert, you can come in and say hello.
Good morning. How's everybody today?
Pretty good, pretty good.
Nick's doing a wonderful job as always.
Good to see you, man. Good to see you.
Another great product.
Yeah, I'm showcasing the Graphene Rinseless wash.
Well, it sure makes it easy, trust me.
Yeah, you can see how easy that dries. Robert can testify to this.
Those towels are absolutely great.
Yeah, it dries.
Yeah. You're not
Super.
constantly going over it.
No, this towel
Beautiful.
takes it all out. So, you come to get some more coating, Robert?
I come to get more coating, spend more money.
Okay, cool.
Enjoy your
Cool.
day, guys.
Let me just dry this fender here. So this 16 by 16 inch size, like I mentioned, it's really manageable and easy to hold on to. With it folded 4 ways like this, it's about the size of my hand, and it's just a breeze to dry. And it leaves the paint really slick, and it just adds to that graphene protection because it's from the same family of chemicals. I'm gonna give Robert a hand and I'll be right back. All right, see you, take care. So the hood, the fenders, the front bumper, that's finished. Now I'm going to use the pre-spray again, and I'm going to do the windshield as well as this side here. And I'm not going to do that side of the vehicle yet. The water here at the office is pretty hard, and even though this contains water softeners, I really don't like to do the entire car, just because sometimes it can be a pain if you let it sit too long, like for example when I'm making a video. So if I'm not making a video, then I really wouldn't worry about it, but when I'm making a video, I'm talking, I'm explaining things, so I'm not moving as quickly as I would if I were just working by myself. And then take the big gold sponge, bring it out about 50%, and get to work. The roof is usually, in my experience, the least dirty part of the car. It's always the lower panels. Those are always the dirtiest. And this is a small car, so I'll actually do the entire side of the car, excluding the lower panels in one shot. If it were really, really dirty, I would be doing one panel at a time and rinsing my sponge more frequently. I am going to flip the sponge over right now, just so I don't get destroyed in the comments box. And the Graphene Rinseless wash, it's safe for matte decals, which this BRZ has on the side. And you can also dilute it, besides as a drying aid at the 1 to 20, or excuse me, ½ ounce to 22. It also makes for a great glass cleaner for the inside. Look at all that dirt from the lower rocker panel. Now you see it? Now you don't. And one of the many things I like about the big gold sponge is you can, push it into tight areas and it'll compress and form to the area that you're cleaning. Like, for example, the fender vents here or the door handles. It's a really versatile sponge. Same process before. Take my drying aid, some nice lubricant. Take my Glacier towel and simply dry it. Really fast, really easy, no thinking involved, and also very therapeutic, as I mentioned. And with the rinseless wash, what you want to pay attention to is adjacent panels that you have not cleaned yet. Like, for example, I have not washed that side of the roof. So as I'm drying it, I want to be mindful and make sure I'm only drying where I washed. Otherwise, what will happen is I'll get dirt and grime in my towel, and as I'm rubbing it across my swirl-free finish, I will scratch the heck out of it. So be mindful. I know I said a minute ago you don't really have to think, but I've been doing this so long where I don't have to think about it anymore. But it's kind of like driving a manual. If you've been doing it for a while, you don't think about it, you just do it. But you're still mindful that when you're trying to downshift into third gear to pass someone on the highway, that you don't put it in first gear. And also too, when you do the lower rocker panels, meaning you dry them, with your towel, be mindful. I just happened to look at my towel, and you can see some debris found its way to my towel, maybe from an area underneath the rocker panel that I missed. So instead of just taking that off and moving on, I'm actually going to be finished with this towel for the day. It's not worth the risk of instilling any swirl marks or scratches. So flip to a new towel. And it's good practice to always inspect your towel anyway before you use it. This one has a loose fiber I'm going to cut off later on. And also too, you can shake it out first. I have had it happen to me before where I grab a towel and there's something in there and I scratch the paint, and it's really not the most enjoyable thing to do. It's very frustrating, to say the least, as you would expect. And I'm just going to repeat this process on the other side of the car, and then I'll meet you back here at the end. All right, looking good. I'll tell you, I almost forgot, keyword is almost, just how glossy and slick the Graphene Rinseless wash leaves vehicles after you wash them. I mean, it's truly incredible. And the thing with the Graphene Rinseless wash is, obviously it works extremely well on a graphene coated vehicle, but for a non-graphene coated vehicle it works well too. And it's safe for all exterior surfaces. You can dilute it as a pre-spray or a detail spray. You can use it as a glass cleaner, as an interior cleaner. It smells great. For me personally, it doesn't dry out my skin or cause any allergic reactions. And again, the finish is just unbelievable. And it cleans surprisingly well too, considering it's a graphene-based polymer lubricant formula, and it does not have the stronger surfactants like the N914 formula does. So if you're looking to inject some gloss into your wash, check out Graphene Rinseless Wash at McKee's37.com. I'll put links below for all these products. And I have separate videos covering wheels and tires on a rinseless wash. It's really simple. Take your sponge, for a vehicle that's not too dirty that is, have a dedicated rinseless wash sponge, clean the wheel and dry it. So there's no science behind that. If the vehicle's really, really dirty, I have separate videos, which I'll put a link in the description, that cover how to clean the wheels and tires on a very dirty vehicle for a rinseless wash. If you like videos like this, give me a thumbs up, click subscribe, and more importantly, shop at McKee's37.com. We appreciate your business. Take care, and God bless. Wow, this looks really nice.